Hello, and thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of Information for Use, IFU. I'm your host, Attorney Mario A. Reed, your information concierge. Today's episode is about a recent change that took effect for senior exemptions as well as for senior freeze in Cook County. But in addition to that, it is to announce that the deadline to turn in the applications for the senior exemptions as well as the senior freeze exemptions has been extended. It was supposed to have stopped on Wednesday, February 7th, but thankfully, the assessor's office recently announced that they're going to extend the deadline out to March 2nd. So essentially, you get an extra 30 days to file those senior exemption and senior freeze exemption applications. That's important because those exemptions aren't automatic, like the homeowner's exemption. Those have to be applied for each and every year. So if you know of a senior, you are a senior, or you just care for a senior, please make certain that the applications have been completed and submitted because the deadline has been extended to ensure that those seniors can take advantage of it. And the reason why is because there are a couple new laws which have improved and increased the benefits of it. So one of the new laws, as it relates to the senior exemption, is that the equalized assessed value discount has been increased from $5,000 to $8,000. Now, I want to stress you will not see an additional $3,000 off of your property tax bill. However, you will more than likely see an extra few $100s off of your property tax bill thanks to, the new law which took effect and allows for a bigger reduction from the equalized assessed value, going from $5,000 all the way up to $8,000. So that's a major victory. In order to determine whether or not you qualify for the senior exemption, you have to meet these three criteria. First, you have to have been born prior to or in the year 1952. Second, you have to have owned the property or have had a lease or contract which makes you responsible for the real estate taxes. And then third, you have to have used the property as your primary place of residence. That's it. If you meet those three requirements, you qualify for the senior exemption. All you have to do is apply for it, and you'll see a steep discount on your second installment. Not the one we're getting ready to pay come March 1st, your second installment, the one that we'll get in the summertime and then be responsible for paying usually in the fall. That's the senior exemption. The senior freeze also had a new law take effect which has improved the lucrative value of it. Previously, the household income to qualify for the senior freeze was $55,000. The new law went into effect and has made it so where now the household income can be as much as $65,000. So an increase of $10,000 so as to hopefully capture more seniors. The only way that can really work is that seniors have to know about it and then more specifically have to apply for the senior freeze, which is different than the senior exemption. The senior exemption has no income requirements. The senior freeze does have an income requirement, which has been increased to $65,000. In addition to that, there's a few other criteria. Once again, you have to have been born prior to or in the year 1952. As I mentioned earlier, a total household income of $65,000 for the tax year of 2016. The third thing is once again, you have to have owned the property or had a legal, equitable, or leasehold interest in the property between January 1st of 2016 and January 1st of 2017. You have to have used the property as a principal place of residence during that same time frame. And then finally, you have to have been responsible for the payment of the property taxes during that time period. If you meet all of those requirements, you potentially could have your equalized assessed value frozen thanks to that senior freeze exemption. That's going to do it for today's episode. Please make sure you get the word out because right now the only way that individuals are going to take advantage is if they know about it. So if you know of any seniors, ask them, hey, did you apply for your senior exemption? Possibly did you apply for the senior freeze? If the answer is no, let them know they can go to the assessor's website. They can go to their township assessor. They can go into several of the assessor's satellite offices. but it could be the difference between them saving anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 depending upon where they reside and what their specific property taxes are. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and please stay informed.